Hello, xin chào cô chú và các bạn nha. Hôm nay gia đình của mình tới chỗ gì đây? Chỗ khám phá cũng như là xem mấy cái đồ của người lính tập làm mấy cái máy bay hay gì đó không biết nữa. Vô trong đó mới biết nè.
Viên bảo tàng
Viên bảo tàng này.
What
are we doing here? Ông xã nói là viên bảo tàng hay gì đó không biết. Chết cơ của em đâu á. Cái hẹp á. Không biết vô trong đó người ta có cho quay hay không nữa. Nếu người ta cho quay thì mình quay, còn không thì mình tới khám phá thôi nha. Quay sơ sơ máy bay. Nhiều loại khác nhau. Cái này to. Wow.
Vamos al otro lado. Oli, so the reason the wildcats will stay in effect all the way through the war is through the small version of it's so it will be they'll be used to upgrade makes it easier. If all this one were wildcat.
Lớp nạn này như chuông brong chắc như mà nghe như này nè. Tê nhà nó bò gật nè nèo chụp bên này nè. Này là gật này nè. Bài ăn bé, mình ăn bé. Ăn bé.
Năn như đi nè. Năn nè.
Navy.
It's called Trojan. The key. So the eight Trojan. Navy.
Nè tầm cái này chắc á một người hai người lái thôi. Đây 3 người. Cái này là 3 người. Navy. Wow. Đây là lần đầu tiên chạm tai cũng như là xem tận mắt luôn. Này. This is so cute. Gia đình của mình coi sơ sơ chỗ này. Đợi tới 3 giờ người ta dắt mình khám phá chỗ khác nữa nha.
Stay here, daddy. Take picture. You can.
Wait, daddy, go call daddy over there, go. Này nghe là tê tahan ở đấy mà nhá. Tê tahan đấy. Tê tahan mình là bao. Hồi nãy là máy bay chở hành khách hay gì đó, còn chỗ này là máy bay còn cái này là máy bay của người lính. Nó hàng lệ tơ hàng khách hàng lệ mà really. Say to him là so cool.
Daddy, hold this red one.
This one you can go.
Really. Bella là hẳn. I know, but look like cao cái bung sang.
Sao con nó đây là phát Đức là Đức.
Này là câu cái này là Việt Nam. No. Này American này. Nga. Ăn cái này.
Soviet Union.
Đây là của máy bay người Nga nha. Liên Xô Nga. Này cái nào nè. Nè who is that? Hai cái này nè. Bên lề đằng này.
England.
England kìa. Anh. Cơ tội nè anh cho. Này cái này là máy bay của nước Anh. Còn cái này là nước nào đây? Cho cái này đang nè. Mỹ. Mỹ. So how about the big one nè mày á?
Wait, you know that airplane right there and that thingy? That's the big one.
Right here, the wet one. Wet and blue. No, no, wet and blue. Wet and blue.
Great Britain.
Anh.
What country?
Oh, they're shark nè. Baby shark nè.
Dog teeth.
What the?
Come up to go fast. They have to
Baby shark
Baby shark.
Này cho cái này đồng mai nha, USA. Mỹ.
Baby shark.
Mỹ. Cái này của ai? Đây cũng là Mỹ. Mỹ. Đây là của ai đây? Đây là
Yak, Soviet Union.
Iraq,
So,
Liên Xô. Châu tiền hiện lại cái tầng tiền này. I say where mommy water.
I would drink it all.
Cái baby xong rồi. Bây giờ gia đình của mình qua bên đó nha. Hả? Okay, wait mẹ.
that's
Okay, so everybody can hear me. I'm going to introduce to our first pusher. Hampton Roads is famous for lots of Civil War battles. It's also for a very interesting airplane flight. This replica was built to commemorate the 110th anniversary of the flight you see in the pictures there. Glenn Curtis was a competitor to the Wrights, and what he had done is he had a fleet of these airplanes flying around the states trying to get people interested in buying them and trying to get the government interested in selling them. He had just won some money by flying the original airplane that looked just like that from Albany, New York to New York City. And guess how long? It set the world speed record. What do you think? 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's pretty good for 1909 or so, okay? So, he took that prize money, he brought it down here to Hampton. He knew a Navy 06 who wanted to fly airplanes off ships for some reason. Well, there's a good reason for that. Because if you can scout out 10 miles around every ship you have, you know pretty much what's out there when nobody else does. The trick is how do you get off a ship and get back on it. So as you see in these pictures down below here, this airplane was the one, this is a replica of a guy named Eugene Eli took off with one of Curtis's airplane from a converted heavy cruiser there and flew around, actually landed over by where the Navy base is. Because when he originally took off, he kind of bounced off the water, got all wet, and knocked his goggles off. So he decided that was enough for one day. But that second picture is another attempt down in San Francisco a month later, where they actually landed first, got out, had coffee with the captain, got back in, and took off. So that was the first known flight from a carrier, and within 10 years they were in front. This is a replica of the original design. It's called the Curtis Pusher Model D. You can see it's a single place cockpit with light controls, a wheel and pedals. The engine is not right behind the cockpit. And we love flying this in air show because it shows you how an airplane works. So all the controls, you see all the wires at the French depot. There were 2 Americans who drove these in World War I, and you know their last names very well. One of them was too young to join the Army, so he joined the Canadian Army. They didn't mind. They sent him over. He wound up driving them for a couple months. He winds up again in the Spanish Civil War. He comes back. He lives in Cuba. He smokes cigars. He wrote Old Man to Sea. He wrote For Whom the Bell Tolls. Say it again. Say it loud. Ernest Hemingway. Very good. That was one. Who's the other guy? This guy was too young. So he joined the Red Cross. They sent him over there. He got his shirt on. He was off to the and 10 years later, he's back in California. He draws 2 mice. One he names Mickey, one he names Disney. That's Walt Disney, back in 1918. How about that? And he was an artist even then. Cool stuff. Well, you know 2 of the names.
Look, I got my back. Hey, I was thinking about that one. Daddy, we
Oh, right there.
It is it's all a networking kind of thing. You know, people who can afford to do this kind of stuff, they show them. But it's very secret. You know, it's all locked up. You don't know who's in there because if somebody knows you're restoring it, it's blank. You get cards. They will know, but the price will go. Yeah. Sir, you're standing on a grave right now. Let me tell you the story. When the boss started his collection, it was over at Suffolk Executive, about 15 miles from here, as the crow flies. And he ran out of space really quickly, and he was looking for another airport. This was the Virginia Beach Airport that he kind of took over and turned into a private field. But the story goes, when we got our Spitfire out of London, we brought it over here, we put it together, we had a test, one of the pilots test it, take it out for a nice little hop. When they came back, he landed, he taxied up to the hangar over at Suffolk. He shut the engine off and he put the canopy back, and a very angry cat jumped out from behind the pilot's seat, went running away. Well, that became Spitfire the cat, obviously, and she was our mouse control officer for the next 16 years. So that's her grave marker.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Cat. Sạp mèo. Mèo bình nhô nó bình rong mèo rong cái căng nó nè căng vui phải một
This is our latest acquisition. This is a Curtiss C-46 Commando. One of the two main cargo airplanes from World War II. The other was the Douglas C-47. C-47 was famous for D-Day and all the airborne assault. C-46s generally flew mostly over in the China-Burma, India theater, and they were known as flying the hump, which was the Himalayas. And it doesn't sound like much, except you're heavily loaded, and the mountains went up to over 15,000 feet, and the weather was terrible often. So a lot of these were left behind in the mountains, and there were plenty of war stories about how you survive and you know what valleys to go through and all that kind of stuff. Once you were in China, there was plenty of manpower, not so much in India. So to load up the airplane, they would use elephants. And you have those big 55-gallon drums of fuel. The elephant would come, grab it with his trunk, and put it up to the cargo door. And that's how they would use the power over there. This one's called Tinkerbell. It came to us last summer, flew in here. It's got some mission markings on it that are camels, and that represents missions over the top, as you know, from camel. Hopefully we'll get this flying again soon. We've got an engine off right now to get the right one installed. And it had a lot of nicknames in its service. None of them good. One was the Curtis Catastrophe. The other was the Plumber's Nightmare. And the Flying Coffin. Other than that, it was a great airplane. Come with me. Yeah, apparently they hadn't figured out fuel leaks very well. This one, we've tried to research its history. But the Spanish were given license to build a lot of German equipment as kind of their reward for staying out of World War II or staying neutral. And so half the serial numbers we find on this are in German, the other half are in Spanish. So we're not really sure how and when it changed hands. But one story we heard is it served in North Africa, was on its way up to Sicily when it was intercepted, wound up diverting into Spain. The Spanish took it and refurbished it from there. It comes with its searchlight over on this side, and its diesel power generator over on this side, so pretty much a complete unit. A 5-man crew could launch almost 20 shells a minute with these things, and they're extremely accurate. Good up to over 30,000 feet, and range-wise, they were exceptionally good. So you learn to hate these things if you're fighting against them. They were really good. We got this one working again. We do fire it as part of our air show. It's very loud, so you need to be ready for it, because if you're not, even you would jump about 1.5 feet, right? So, you got a lot of work to do now here, and we didn't know that we would put this together. But if you look up this way, reflecting on that mirror, you can see that in the back of the support column. And what that turns out to be is Ansley Vaclav worked here October 14th, 1944. Vaclav was a forced laborer from Poland who was working on this hangar, probably repairing battle damage from an earlier air raid. And he left his initials, and he didn't just do that as forced labor, right? Because defacing German property would have been treated harshly. But he got away with it. We didn't know about it until we were sandblasting this stuff. So we actually sent a team over to Warsaw to try and find out more about Vaclav. We couldn't find him. Turns out he had passed away about 5 years before we put it together, but we found his priest in the basement of a church in Warsaw. And he knew the story of Vaclav, who had come back from Germany after the war, lived as a recluse the rest of his life out in the forest. But one day a month, he would come in, collect his stipend, his paycheck from the Polish government, buy some groceries, head back out. So everybody knew about Vaclav for 40 years after the war. And now that we have this little inscription up there, he's part of our story as well. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Take a look there. Over here, Maria's like a recluse. Shoot, that's like perfect.
Mommy!
I know.
Hi, doctor. Hi, doctor.
You see it? It only covered where you're taking off and landing, not where you were going to attack. So let me show you the weather and some of the stuff we found there. Any questions in here? Okay, come with me, please.
We'll find it and you'll let it
Pretty cool. This is part of the weather forecasting stuff. You see the charts and maps to the barometer, some of their early measuring.
Backing up that. Huh. Amazing. I didn't know when it wore out. Things that don't have to go terribly well in the make. I mean, it was down, let's push it down, but yeah, now.
Yeah. Way down there.
I put it in the truck. Celebration of the war, it's called Life magazine, actually, I got usually